It's crazy to think that we've seen more of Rodion in this very episode than we did of the whole entire previous arc. I joke, however, but it is nice to see Rodion back on the screen once more. And hopefully, as this tournament progresses, we see more duels from her character. Hello everyone and welcome to Dueling with Downton, and today we're talking all things episode 66 of the Yugioh Go Rush anime series. A very enjoyable episode, and in my opinion, a better handling of the possessed Yuamu character. So let's start off by talking about her character, shall we? Call out his name and be corrupted by his light. I call thee Otes. That's right, after speaking the name Otes, the relic reacted, and thus Yuamu was possessed once more. But things happened with this possession that made it more enjoyable than the last time. We had a more sinister and darker tone/vibe being given off by Yuamu's character. The voice acting was spectacular, and the music was on point that just helped give off that bone-chilling vibe. Yuamu coming right out and saying that if you don't, I'll turn you all into cards was just chilling, as we can only imagine how psychologically damaged our characters are from the whole being carded process, and how that threat can actually be quite scary and daunting to them moving forward. Granted, none of these characters in this room with this threat have actually been carded, but I'm sure just hearing of these effects are scary enough. Now things do get a bit tricky when trying to compare what happened to Yuamu and Phaser, because as far as we know, Phaser shouldn't have known the name Otes, nor does he seem like Phaser has forgotten the bad things that he has done. Yet Yuamu didn't remember a thing that happened. Plus, I have to question, what happened to the others? Did they just continue digging, like Yuamu threatened them to keep doing? Or are they now corrupted and is going to run amok during this tournament? Now, while on this opening segment of the episode, I love how Yuamu references Yuga's big battle and made the connection that if Yuga could go back in time, then it's possible for someone else to have gone back in time as well. And even possible for them to have gone even further back into the past. And that's kind of how the name Otes came about, because ultimately that was Yuga's big final battle before he came to this time period. And a side note, I loved how in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7s, we got Otes' involvement in a tournament arc during the opening episodes. And in the opening duel of said arc in 7s, we saw Roa versus a possessed Mimi. And Mimi didn't remember her duel as she received a certain card that disappeared after the duel ended. So the two situations, one from 7s and now in Go Rush, are very similar in comparison. Now, I have seen a lot of people saying that the darkness references with Yuamu's possession and a new card that she used was a reference to Night Shroud. Especially because this duel was very Red Boot heavy, and we know Red Boot is like a spin-off of Red Eyes Black Dragon, which Night Shroud used as Ace Monster, and he had Red Eyes Darkness Dragon, all of that malarkey. But we also had the fact that Otes used Red Eyes himself in 7s, so it's kind of not out of the realm of the possibility that Otes would have knowledge of how to improve a Red Eyes based monster. So, thanks to the darkened vibes and tones of Yuamu's character in this episode, and the music playing throughout, I really enjoyed this duel between herself and Yudias. Yudias' new field spell card was great, and yeah, just like the duel was from start to finish. On the topic of Yudias, I think I've been liking this bonding between himself and Epark. The two are really goofy in terms of their pairing, but they seem to work, and I like how having someone so out there like Yudias interacting with Epark is helping her become less and less shy, and slowly coming out of her box. It's a slight slow burn, yes, but I've seen it before how Yudias' personality can be infectious within the series. It brings people along with him and together, so it's good that he's actually doing that. Right, now I was going to sit here and talk about how disappointed I was that we didn't get any follow up on the Luke appearing. But he was shown again. He was in Park's room. So after rewatching this episode, I saw that that was a thing, and he was being covered up. So possibly she's keeping him a secret. Yet it's cool to see, as she's clearly been interacting with the Luke, thus making a new friend. And who knows, maybe the Luke might be teaching her how to rush duel, so that when she finally duels Yudias, her skills will be rather higher and more surprising for Yudias himself. As far as the tournament, I'm glad they're using the Rush Battler system as this sort of point gauge, and having the whole of the town as the kind of stadium. So it means you can go anywhere and have a duel with anyone. At the same time, it is kind of reminiscent of Battle City in a way, but you don't have to collect, like, all these different sort of glass cards. I'm glad they're having Ran as one of the hosts for the event, as a nice way of rewarding her for all of her efforts against Phaser in the last arc. And it does offer some interesting commentary, like we saw with today's duel, in how they reference Yuamu's love for promo events, and Yudias being the savior of the galaxy, because he managed to stop the war, in the Volgear cluster. The prize is a bit naff, to say the least, but I kind of think that a park might win, or at least get the prize after the tournament. After all, we have the Luke there with her in the Kamijo mansion. Plus, the Kamijo family have a history with manga in its family lineage, so what better way to build up that lineage with the Mr. Universe manga collection? The top 4 characters for this tournament I can see being Yudias, Yugioh, Yuhi, and Rovian. I think we need to have that Yuhi versus Yugioh rerun, and I think a rematch between Yudias and Rovian would be rather cool to see as well. Plus, I just want Rovian to do more. We could then have Yudias and Yuhi in the finals, because we had a lot of reminders of how Yuhi used to mentor Yudias. And it would be kind of like, the student becoming the master. You know what I mean. Although I did just say that a park might get the prize, the only way she could do that is if you just gift it to her, because we know Yudias already has the Mr. Universe manga series. So why would he need it? Anyways, let me know your thoughts on all of this in the comments down below. Did you enjoy this episode? What do you think of Yuamu's second possessed state? And who do you think is going to be in the top 4 of this tournament? Will we get more Relic involvement moving forward? Who knows? But apart from that, I enjoyed this episode. Hope you did as well. Hope you enjoyed this review. Hit like, comment your thoughts, and subscribe so you never miss a video from myself. And have a great day. Arigato, matane, goodbye.